Hello, Ross Sharp here with another episode of Aeronautica. The last of the true interceptors, the BAC Lightning F.6. In the 1960s there seemed to be two schools of thought in manned air defense. One said that you built a large, heavy aircraft equipped with as many long-range missiles as possible to enable patrols to be carried out as far from home base as practicable. Examples of this would include the McDonnell Douglas F-4 Phantom and the Tupolev Tu-28 Fiddler. The other extreme was to build a fast, maneuverable, lightly armed interceptor with an incredible climb rate to tackle intruders when they were on approach to their targets. These were the tactical heirs to the Luftwaffe's Me-163 of World War II, and could be exemplified by the aircraft seen here, the British Aircraft Corporation, formerly English Electric, Lightning F.6, finished in a striking dark green, dark grey camouflage scheme with silver undersides. The definitive development of the earlier P-1B research aircraft, which first flew on the 4th of April 1957, the F-6 combined a lot of detail improvements from the previous generation of Lightnings. X-ray Papa 697, the prototype F-6, made its maiden flight on the 17th of April 1964. Compared to its predecessor, the F-3, there was a change of wing camber and area, as well as increased fuel capacity. Lightnings, whatever the mark, were always looking for more fuel capacity. Overwing fuel tanks carrying 260 gallons each could now be fitted. The 60-degree swept wing had no space underneath, as that was taken up by the undercarriage wheel wells. A fixed, removable refueling probe was also fitted to the underside of the port wing. The two Rolls-Royce Avons of 12,690 pounds thrust each were stacked vertically but staggered, giving the minimum cross-sectional area and therefore drag, and pushed the Lightning to 1,500 miles per hour, or Mach 2.27, at altitude. The climb rate was a staggering 50,000 feet per minute. The F-6 served with numbers 5, 11, 23, 29, and 111 squadrons of the Royal Air Force, and also with number 226 OCU Operational Conversion Unit and the Lightning Training Flight at Royal Air Force Binbrook. X-ray Romeo 771 was delivered to number 5 Squadron, motto Thou mayest break but not bend me, at Royal Air Force Binbrook in Lincolnshire in December 1965, and carried the squadron letters Alpha November. It had a long and arduous service life, finally finishing up with number 11 Squadron, coded Bravo Fox, in 1988. During this period, as well as sending a detachment to their annual armament practice camp at Royal Air Force Akrotiri on the Mediterranean island of Cyprus, and making other overseas trips, the Lightnings were constantly being scrambled over the North Sea to investigate Russian aircraft, usually Tupolev Tu-95 Bear turboprop bombers, which were probing UK airspace. The F-6 carried two 30mm Aden cannon in the front of their 600-gallon under-fuselage fuel tank, yet another way of getting more fuel onto the airframe, as well as either two de Havilland Firestreak or Hawker-Siddeley Red Top first-generation infrared air-to-air missiles. The McDonnell Douglas F-4 Phantom began to partially replace the F-6 in 1974, and the end came when the last Lightnings of the Binbrook wing were replaced by the Panavia Tornado F-3 in 1988. Amazingly, the Lightning nearly became the last manned fighter of the Royal Air Force. In one of the most appalling decisions ever taken with reference to the armed forces of the UK, the Defence Review of 1957 decreed that, in future, air defence was to be undertaken by land-based missiles only. This terrible mistake, forced through by the then Minister of Defence Duncan Sandys, a missile enthusiast, ruined several aircraft manufacturers and forced wholesale closures. Despite being reversed in later years, it can be truthfully said that Britain's aircraft industry never really recovered from this act of gross stupidity. Looking at this particular Lightning, lovingly restored by the Midland Air Museum, Coventry, I can remember my joy at watching the almost unbelievable zoom climb with which Royal Air Force Lightnings finished a display sequence at many air shows, and seeing the crews of other contemporary NATO fighters look on in envy. This aircraft was also capable of supercruise, that is, supersonic cruise without using reheat. As well, I was told that in 1984 a United States Air Force U-2 was intercepted by a Royal Air Force Lightning at approximately 88,000 feet, or flight level 880, where the pilot had thought himself totally invulnerable. Fortunately, one aircraft, a twin-seat T-5, is under restoration to fly in the United States of America, and others have flown in South Africa. Long live Lightnings!